Report on the 15 please, if we could swear her in.
Dr. Barrett, if you come forward over here, please.
Sure.
We can have her come over, Mr. Jordan.
Yes.
Your Honor, the defense is satisfied that Mr. Chism is competent, and so we are withdrawing the question we raised concerning his competency. Mr. Chism would like to waive his presence in the courtroom for the trial today. I've explained to him that at any time he can decide to come back into the courtroom, and yesterday I'd like to state that he didn't want to delay the proceedings. He wanted to absent himself, but and so he'd like to waive his presence today.
All right. As it relates to the first issue, Dr. Merritt, thank you very much. You can have a seat if you could for a moment, please. As to any waiver of a right to be present, which he has the right to do under the case law in the Constitution, it requires me to do a colloquy with him. And before I do that colloquy with him and before I make my findings on competency, I need to see counsel at the sidebar. The court, having found the defendant competent, we will continue with the trial. The court will make its specific findings and rulings as it relates to that matter after speaking with counsel at a later point in time in order to address the issue of the defendant's presence. And Ms. Regan, your request is that the defendant not be present for today?
Yes,
Right.
but I guess
I'll need to do a colloquy
Yes.
with him, but it can be done at counsel table. Is he prepared right now?
last time I checked.
All right. And I will have to also say that before we actually start, and the jury's not back until 10:15 anyway, until we start, there'll also have to be a written waiver as well. And we'll put something together.
Your Honor, I would just ask as well not to make it subject to the public, but that the competency report be marked for identification for purposes of the trial record.
Nay, I thank Dr. Merritt for her comprehensive and prompt competency report. And I recognize the amount of hours that went into it, the carefulness with which it was done, the seriousness with which it was done, and the professional care in which it was done, and the inconvenience that it posed to Dr. Merritt in doing it when she was not in the building. All right. Court will proceed then with the colloquy relative to the defendant's right to be present. Swear in, Mr. Chism.
Mr. Chisholm, would you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear you will make true answers to such questions that may be put to you by the court or upon its direction, so help you God?
I do. Good morning, sir. My name is David Lowy. I'm a judge here in the Superior Court. I'm going to ask you some questions to make sure that you don't want to be present today for the trial. I also want to ask you some questions to make sure that you understand the important rights you have under the Constitution if you do make a decision not to be present. I want to make sure that you understand that if you are not present, you will still have a right to consult with counsel, with your lawyer. I want you to understand that if you're not present, at any moment you can change your mind about being present in the courtroom. To sort of put it as straightforward as I can, I just want to make sure that this is what you want to do and you understand what you give up under the law by making this decision and that you can change your mind. Do you feel like you understand all that, sir?
Yes.
Now, sir, if at any point in time I ask you anything you don't understand, please let me know. If at any point I ask you a question and you understand it, but you want to talk to one of your lawyers before you answer it, let me know so I can give you time to talk to them before you answer the question. Do you understand all that?
Yes.
Okay. Sir, could you please tell me your full name and how old you are?
Bill Chism, 16 years old.
And, sir, how far did you go in school?
9th grade.
Are you able to read and write, sir?
Yes.
Have you taken any prescription medicine today?
Yes.
Do you feel in any way that that's getting in the way of your ability to understand what's happening, sir?
No.
Have you taken any narcotics or alcohol? Now, sir, you have an absolute right to be present in the courtroom while the trial is going on, unless the court makes a decision otherwise that requires a lot, to put it sort of as colloquially as I can, for you not to be able to be here. So you have a right under the law and under the Constitution. It is your right to be present, to be here watching the trial. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Now, if you decide you don't want to be here, you have that right too. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Now, sir, when I'm asking you questions and talking to you, it's really important that you understand that I'm not trying to suggest that you be in the courtroom or not be in the courtroom. I'm just asking you questions to make sure that this is what you want to do. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay. So, if you are not in the courtroom, we are going to have the courtroom proceedings, what happens here, available for you to watch and see, should you choose to do so. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes.
Ms. Regan, is it your intention for one of the attorneys to be present with Mr. Chism if he is not in the courtroom with him?
As best I can manage it.
Okay, okay. Now, when I say you have a right to be present in the courtroom, what you have is a right under our Constitution to what we call confront witnesses who are called in to testify against you. What I really mean by that is you have a right. It's your right, being charged with a crime, to actually see the witnesses as they testify and to be able to see your lawyers ask questions of them. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes.
Now, that means that if something happens and you have a thought about an idea and you're not in the courtroom, I expect your lawyers and you will decide to have one of your lawyers there outside, and if there is something that you believe should be brought to the court's attention, be a means to do so. But you're not right there to whisper in your lawyer's ear a thought you have if you're not in the courtroom. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes.
Do you want to give up that right to be present and be here to confront, see the witnesses, and see the cross-examination?
No.
Do you want to be present?
Yes.
You want to be present during the trial? Okay. All right. At this point in time, then, I'll see counsel at the sidebar for a moment, and then we'll bring the jury in when they return at 10:15. Sir, you can be seated. Thank you.